Oh, Bria.
Oh, hey.
Hey girl. You want me to just peep the fit I got on for you?
I saw it, girl. It looks
Yeah.
so good.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. How are you? You look beautiful.
I'm just lovely. So do you with your little background. I see you.
We trying. It's a little dreary out here, but it's no LA.
Yeah, it's sunny and bright out here.
Oh, we already got requests to do the Kardashian TikTok. Look at that. Already
Oh my
on point.
gosh.
Um, Everybody, thank you for joining Be Great, Good to Great. We're highlighting people in their careers and their journey, giving some inspiration, also answering any of your questions. So this is meant to be interactive. Please ask any questions that you would like to Bria. Drop them in the comments or put them in the QA thing, and then I can just pop it up for you. But I want to introduce the wonderful Bria. We met. Was it high school? Was that Niqua when we met, or
Yeah,
was it
I think
later?
so.
Okay.
No, I think we met in high school.
Yeah, so it was, I went to Bolingbrook, she went to Neuqua Valley, neighboring high schools, long time ago. But we met back then, stayed in touch ever since. Um, and we did, shoot, girl, do better together, all tons of stuff together. But anyways, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, Bria. Tell the listeners a little bit about your background and what you do now.
Okay, so hi everyone. I'm Bria. My background is actually more in business. So I've been in athletics. I've been an athlete my whole life. So I was a gymnast for 15 years. I quit gymnastics and then went into basketball. I was a college basketball player and I got my accounting degree from Millikan University. So that's kind of what I did in a past life. I currently am in TV hosting and acting, and I live in Los Angeles. So my life kind of is has done a 180 since then, but I'm in a good position now, and I'm very happy and love what I do.
Is there anything that you've like picked up through like college and beyond that has like helped you with like what you're doing now in LA? Do you think that like that was part of your journey that you need to go through? Or do you think that you wasted time?
I think being an athlete in general has kind of set me up for the success that I think I see currently just because of the self discipline you have to have and the professionalism that you have to have. And I do think college helped with that because although I'm not interested in a job in accounting,
Hmm.
um, some of the characteristics of, being able to hold myself in a room and have that professionalism and beyond that has really been able to, it's transferable, I should say, in the career that I'm in now. And I think has also helped with the success that I've seen thus far and the discipline, the determination, and the hustle that I have as far as getting into acting and TV hosting. So, yeah.
And then how long were you here until you moved recently, right, to LA?
Yeah. So Naperville, Chicago has been my home all of my life. And I just recently moved in September, actually. So I'm
Oh
still
my
fresh meat
gosh.
out here.
Prior to quarantine though. So
Exactly.
so how was that move for you moving from Chicago to LA? No, I mean I don't know if you already knew people out in LA, but like how was that move for you being one place most of your life and now you're like, you know what, I'm gonna pick up and go somewhere and do a 180 to a different career.
It's tough. You don't think it's going to be, I didn't think it was going to be as tough as it is because being in Los Angeles has been something that I've always wanted to. I always wanted to move to Los Angeles. And it wasn't really until that we got here that I understood and I saw how difficult it really is to up and move to a state in a place where you don't know anybody, you don't really have connections, and you're really just starting brand new. So it has its challenges, but of course it has its benefits. That's why it's really important to have a plan and to be able to stay focused because there are days that I miss you guys so much and you don't realize what a support system you have in a safe place until you leave that and
Mhm.
you're looking for it and you want it. Some days I just want to be able to go to one of your houses and have a drink and just sit with you and just feel your energy. And I can't even do that. I mean, I wouldn't be
Right.
able to do it now anyway, but you know what I mean?
That I never really thought about that too. And then I know you also moved with your fiance, the lovely Tyler.
Yes.
So tell me about even being in a relationship, right? Because I don't know if like moving to LA, that was more so your career move, right? Than his.
Say that again.
Was that moving to LA was more so on like your volition, right? Wanting to get into acting. So tell me about
Absolutely.
that, right? Moving with and having a partner and trying to move to another place, and it's necessarily only like, just like it's one person's opportunity, right? Like
Hmm.
how was moving and then explaining that to Tyler.
Well, first of all, I love that man with all my being. Um, so it's interesting because, like I said, I've always wanted to move to LA. And when I graduated college, I could have done that. I didn't have anything holding me back from doing that. And for some reason, I still didn't do it. Um, and so with Tyler, I think it's important to, not important. I think something that I realized in my relationship is I want to be with someone that helps me be my best self and someone who is going to be a partner. You know, you can Netflix and chill with anybody, but to be able to have someone who supports you and helps get you to the next level, that's a different type of foundation. You
Mm.
can't necessarily do that with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And something that Tyler really wanted in general was to be able to move to the city, live in a high rise, live that life. And he was able to do that. And once we were reevaluating our plans for the future and what we wanted to do, I really had to sit down and explain to him what my goals were and what it is that I wanted to do. And I told him that I'm going to be an actress. And to make this come into fruition, I need to be able to live in Los Angeles. And it's a really tough conversation to have with someone who you truly believe is your soulmate because it was a non-negotiable for me. Going to LA was something that I just felt like I had to do for me. And I had to express that to him because I don't want to be resentful in my relationship and to think that that is what held me back. And so we sat down and he was like, you know what? You have given me this life that I've wanted. We've lived in the city for a couple years now. We've lived that high rise life.
Mm.
And I want this for you just as bad as you want it for yourself. So if we have to get up and move, let's make a plan. He's all about plans. Let's make a plan, set it up, and let's do it. And I was like, okay, let's do it.
Wow. So he was
Yeah,
pretty gung ho about it. You were just like, okay, this is what I want to do. I'm nervous, and he's like, oh, okay, well, you explained it, and that's fine.
absolutely.
I think that's great. And that's, I think, what partnership is about, right? Like being open with someone, even when you're like afraid to tell them about something and they're more so like keeping you comfortable still, right? It's like, yeah, this is a
Hmm.
safe space, safe place. You can talk about whatever. And so
Absolutely.
how has that transition been in dating, moving to a place, right, where you said you don't have like a big support system, and now it seems like maybe he's your support system now, right? Now you're probably seeing him a lot more than you saw him in Chicago.
Yes, so much more. Yeah, it's different. He's always been my we've always been friends first, but he truly has become my best friend. We truly have a solid foundation in a friendship first, I think, and I have a solid foundation with my faith and with God, and it's something that um, I'm able to help teach him as well. And because we have such a solid foundation, and well, I have a solid foundation with God and my faith, and we together we have a solid friendship foundation. It it changes things in our relationship because something that may normally could easily be a fight is now well, I'm petty, but I could be super petty, but I he's taught me and we've learned from each other because that's what a relationship is. That's what a friendship is. You learn from one another. And we both have been able to sometimes take the relationship of it out and be able to have that friendship and that relationship in that regard where we can sit down and have a conversation about something and not be an argument or not be something where I storm out of the room or he storms out of the room. So it's changed in that regard. It's changed in the regard that we've gotten to know each other on a different level. We're able to see each other's weaknesses where it's not a bad weakness. It's just something that he's not maybe good at and I am, and I can
Hmm.
step in that area, and he better knows me in areas where I'm weak, and he can better step in. And so because we solely depend on each other, we've
Hmm.
been able to grow as a couple because our foundation is just stronger. If I'm not good at mowing the lawn or whatever it may be, he can step up and just do that for me. And because of those things, our relationships, it moves more smoothly. We have grown quicker in our relationship, quicker than ever, because we spend the most time with each other. We just know each other so well.
You guys got to go on like those like dating shows where they're like, who, or like one of those new TikTok, who does this the most? And you both are like in sync on everything.
Oh my gosh.
And so last question, and I'll leave your relationship alone for now.
Okay.
How has wedding season been during quarantine, right? I know your wedding is in the fall, but shifting things around, how has that played a part for what you're doing now? Has that been a little bit like tough?
It's been tough, but um, I listened. I listened to this thing today. I listened to this video by Michael Todd, and he said today, and it resonated with me, that when it comes to your faith, you can't just jump on the bandwagon when it's convenient for you. And it really hit with me because, again, I'm very strong in my faith and my foundation with God, and He's never steered me wrong thus far.
Mm-hmm.
Although He may redirect my path in situations, it's always been with purpose. And He's never directed me into a path that has led me um, in the wrong direction. He's never steered me wrong. And so, although we have discussions about that, and I'm not the happiest and I'm frustrated, there's that understanding that it's all for a reason and it's beyond my control. So, what can you do about it? And so, yeah, to brides out there, I encourage you to just believe that it's for a reason. You're going to have your day. You have to hold strong in your love with one another. Take the opportunity to um, maybe think of more ideas or think of something different, or being able to incorporate your bridesmaids more and your girls in, I don't know, different activities that you're going to do when this all is over. But as far as my wedding, I know it's something that's going to happen. And the day that it does happen, whether that be September 5th or in 2021, I'm marrying that man, and I know that much. So that's all I need to know.
Period. Period.
Exactly.
I love that. Okay, so transitioning over into in my opinion, or just my opinion. So tell me
Mhm.
more about that. How did you start that? And then I know I'm sure it had to be a little bit of your catalyst to move into LA too, right? So at what point did that start for you, and how tough was it for you to get like the ball rolling there? And explain to people what
Uh,
just my opinion is.
so, Just My Opinion is a video series that just talks about my journey of being an up and coming actress and TV host in the entertainment industry. It eventually evolved into an interview series where I would also sit down with on the rise and celebrity talent and talk about their journeys and their opinions on being up and coming or renowned or established in the industry and what they've kind of done to do that. Just My Opinion was created when I was at my job. So, for those of you that don't know, I was in pharmaceutical sales and I was in Chicago. And Just My Opinion started when I was in the car. I was sitting in the car because in pharmaceutical sales, you're sitting in your car all day, every day. And I just got tired, really, Brittany. I did a lot of extra work, and I could talk a little bit about that later, but I was doing a lot of extra work. And as an actress, you don't just want to be behind the scenes all the time. You
Mm-hmm.
want to be in front of the camera. You're waiting for your agent to send you something, that one audition that you think is going to change your life. You're just waiting and waiting for it. And as I was doing extra work and going just through the process of trying to figure out how to make it really in the industry, I saw a lot of things, and I just thought that a lot of anybody who is looking to get on this route should hear from someone who hasn't necessarily made it. I always think about the Cardi B's of the world, how she had this whole story before we knew Cardi B from who
Mm-hmm.
she is now. And I think it's really important for people to see that. I think it's important for people to see people on the rise to where they're going. So
Mm-hmm.
I created Just My Opinion to do that, to have a story that people could be attached to and connected with, of someone who hasn't necessarily made it just yet, but is on their way to making it. I thought that was important. Um, and so it started just as that, just as me in front of the camera, just talking, posting every Monday, just motivation really. And it transpired into me doing interviews because although it's just my opinion, I do know there are more opinions out there than my own, is what I always like to say. And I thought it was important that I was able to sit down with other on the rise talent, but also talent that's already in the industry that have established names for themselves. So of course, Laura Govan and Kat and Brandy Harvey, those are some of the people I was able to actually sit down with and have these conversations. And so that's kind of how it got started.
And so how did that move into you now moving to LA to be a TV host?
So another thing that happened with Just My Opinion. So Just My Opinion fully, I like to tell this story because it's interesting. In January of 2018, I was laid off from my pharmaceutical job. In Just My Opinion, before I was laid off, I just was doing the videos on my own. In January of 2018, I was laid off, and that was when I decided that I was going to incorporate the interview aspect of it. I also decided at that point, I talked to Tyler about it, I wasn't going to go back to work. I was somehow going to make this work for me because it was a sign. Anyone who knows me knows I think everything's a sign. It was a sign to me that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I didn't go back to work, and I didn't go back to work for 9 months after that.
Wow.
And everything that I was doing was all provided by me financially. No one ever put money into anything that I did. No one ever booked any interview that I did. Everything was always done by me. And with Just My Opinion, I was able to, I found a different hustle in myself that I didn't even know I had. And it came down to the point where I originally thought I was just going to do interviews via like this, like via Skype. That was my vision. I'm going to reach out to these people. I'm going to do their interviews via Skype. It's going to be all good. Shout out to Dre, who is my videographer, Dre Moore on the shot. Shout out to him because he's just my go-to. He's just the man that I trusted behind the camera for me for any and everything that I did. Mm-hmm. And I told him, I was like, Dre, how are we going to make this work? Me and him I talked about it with him. I always tell him my vision and he will come up with it and we'll film it. I was like, how are we going to make this work? He was looking up ways that we could do Skype interviews, all this other stuff. So we figured out a way to do it. I'm reaching out and they were like, and then once I reached out to Kat and I was talking to her publicist. She was like, yeah, Kat's not coming back to Chicago anytime soon. And I don't think Skype's a good option. And I was like, whoa, how is this going to work? Like my plan completely shut down. I was like, I have to pivot. What am I going to do? And immediately, right after she sent me that email, I emailed her back. I said, I'll fly to LA. She was like, oh, okay. I said, I'll fly to LA. I gave her 3 dates that I just was like, okay, I'll make these dates work. And she said, okay, she's available this date. I flew to LA. And from that point on, that was just the route I took. I was flying back and forth to LA. I think I was back and forth to LA once a month.
Wow.
For 4 months after that. I was in Atlanta with Brandy. And then I was able to do some in Chicago. I got to a point where I had to start booking 2 interviews while I was in LA because I was going back and forth so much and I couldn't afford to continue to just go there. I was going there for 2 days. I was going there for the weekend and coming back. And I had to figure out how to do the filming myself. I had to figure out how to do the editing myself. I had to figure out how to do everything on my own because I couldn't fly Dre out with me every single time I went out.
And you were interviewing these people for free.
Yes. On
Wow.
top of interviewing these people for free. That's the type of hustle I was doing. And honestly, I wasn't doing it for any reason but to be able to network and to build my resume. My goal was to work for AfterBuzz TV, and Just My Opinion originally started because AfterBuzz TV said you needed to have a demo reel. And I was like, how do you have a demo reel if you don't have any footage to make a demo reel? And so that's what I did. I figured out my own show. I started taping my own material, and a year later, I made a demo reel. And from there, I was like, okay, I have my demo reel now, so there should be no excuse as to why I can't get this job in Los Angeles. And so a year later, that's when me and Tyler had that conversation. I applied again. They were like, you have to live in LA. I was like, wow, bummer. And I was like, we have to go to LA. Came to LA, applied, had to wait 3 months before I even heard back.
Wow.
And then finally got the job working for
During that 3
AfterLife
months,
TV.
like, what were you doing? Were you just sitting there like, oh my God, like, I hope this works out? Like, just praying? Like,
I was getting involved in classes. I was networking. I was going to events. I was doing any and everything that I could during that time. But of course, I wasn't stagnant. Never stay stagnant. Um, Never. Always keep moving. Always have a plan. Always have a focus. So never stagnant. Always moving.
and you're saying you think just for actresses that everyone needs a demo reel?
I think it's important to have a demo reel. So there's a difference between being a TV host and being an actress. Um, I think that when it comes to being an actress, so like I said before this, I did a lot of extra work. I think something that everyone should do is practice the language in the profession that you're looking to pursue. You can't, a lot of people are confused when it comes to acting, because now we're moving on to the acting aspect of it. We were talking about TV hosting. As an actress, you need to understand the basics. What's a theatrical agent? What's a commercial agent? What's the difference between an extra and a stand-in? What's a co-star role? What's a guest star role? What's a series regular role? These are all things that you have to learn in the industry and in the profession that you're pursuing. So I started to get into extra work, not because I wanted to be on TV. That is not the purpose that I want to be an extra. My purpose for wanting to, or my purpose wanting to be an actress, I want to be an actress because I can live outside of the present moment of myself. So I wake up as Bria every morning and I'm happy or I'm sad or I'm angry or whatever. It's mostly happy, but I wake up with a certain energy level every single day. But I have a lot of emotions inside of me. As an actress, I'm able to play all of those different roles and showcase so many different emotions, different careers, all of that. I'm able to inspire people through my art, and I'm able to live outside of my present self for a moment and inspire someone else and motivate them to do whatever that may be. So for anyone who loves, I don't know, This Is Us, and you're inspired to be a good husband and have a black love relationship because of Sterling K, and I forget the other lead actress's name, but because of that couple, you're inspired. It's black love. You look at it and you see black love. You can inspire people through your art in acting. And that's why I chose to do acting, not to just be on camera, not to be famous. I want to be very clear about that. And so I started off doing extra work, and I would recommend this to any and everyone who's looking to get into acting. I started doing extra work because I wanted to learn behind the scenes. I wanted to learn the crew behind the scenes of a TV show. And because of that, I'm always seen on camera, and it's frustrating. Coming from someone who is going there not to be on camera to always be chosen to be on camera is very frustrating, because in this industry, if you are repeatedly seen as an extra in the background of a show, that's the role that you play. So you can't see me in the background of Empire as someone who's walking up and down in the studio as a guest in the studio, just someone who's there, and then all of a sudden 2 episodes later I'm Lucius's girl that he's sleeping with now, because you saw me in the background as an extra this whole time, and now she's who? Like, I've already distinguished myself as a character, and that's an extra. And so it's very frustrating. What I found is that there are 2 different types of people that come into a set when they want to be an extra. There's the people that are there to be seen and to make friends with the celebrities, and there's people that are there to work. Every time I walked onto set, I treated myself as if I was just as valuable as Taraji P. Henson. We're both getting paid to be there that day. We're both there the same amount of hours. We're both there to do a job. We're there to create a TV show. That's what they're there. That's what we're there for, and that's what we connected on. Although me and Taraji aren't sitting in the same holding room, me and her are both going to step on set. When he calls action, we're both going to move. We're both there for a job. And so because of that, I think, and it goes back to the professionalism that I did learn in college, because of that, I was getting chosen to be in the front. Out of hundreds of people, I have directors choosing me to be next to the lead actors because of my professionalism, because they knew I wasn't there for games. I was there too for a job. Well, people are trying to talk to Taraji. I'm trying to talk to the crew in the back. I'm trying to find the casting director. I'm trying to talk to the designers. I'm trying to talk to costume. That's who I'm talking to, because these are the people who are more so on your level as of right now and who are going to help you get to the next level. Taraji can't help me.
Mm-hmm.
And God knows I love Taraji, but it's like those are the type of situations that you have to figure out where you can stand out and move up. And I'll never forget, I was sitting there as an extra and we were going through a scene, and Nicole Ari Parker, there was hundreds of us in this room. She came over to me when he called cut and she said, "Keep doing what you're doing. I feel your energy."
Mm.
And I was like, okay, like, again, it wasn't anything like big. I never get like, oh my God, like Nicole came over to me. It's just like, okay, cool. So whatever I just did worked for you. Like, we're going to get this scene, we're going to cut, and we're going to move on to the next one, because I don't want to work an 18-hour day just how you don't want to. So I think it's just all about being there for a purpose and getting there for a purpose. There came a point in time where I stopped wanting to do extra work because, like I said, you start to formulate yourself as an extra, and that's not what you want to do if you're trying to be a full-time actor. So I just cut myself off. I started doing stand-in work. So the difference between an extra and a stand-in is essentially called a second team. So before the first line of actors, so your Tarajis, your Nicole Ari Parkers, your Terrence Howards come out, you have a second team that comes in to formulate the placement of the cameras, so that so when they come out and they call action, they can just film and we don't waste any time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing stand-in work for a pilot that never came out. So I was working with Katie Holmes and Rose Rolland, who I was a stand-in for. We worked in a pilot in Chicago for a couple months. And during that time, I was really able to learn from the A-list actors, from the leads, that my way to practice for my auditions. So that was something that I moved up a level. I'm sitting here now talking. I'm now sitting down having conversations with Katie about ways to practice my audition prep and my character study and things like that. So you keep putting yourself in a different room. After I started doing stand-in work for a while, I was like, I have to get out of Chicago to build a bigger name for myself. And that's when I knew, as an actress, on top of just my opinion, that I had to move to LA to really boost myself as an actress. And so I did. And when I talk about understanding the language in the profession that you're trying to pursue, I think it's extremely important in all areas of your life. But I think it's extremely important in the entertainment industry, because you truly only get one chance to make a name for yourself. You get one opportunity, and your first impression is absolutely everything. And I know a couple years ago, when I was in Chicago, I got this big network TV audition. And I said to my agent that I couldn't go because I was going to be on vacation. Anybody who is an actor on this call is like cringing right now, because it's like, you don't do that when you have a huge audition. You don't say that you're going to be on vacation. You make it work somehow. And I said I was going to be on vacation and that I couldn't do it. And so she called the casting director. They were like, nope, she's off the list, so don't do it. Later on down the line, I figured out it was the biggest blessing in the world, because I was an amateur. That was before I was doing extra work. That was before I was doing anything of any nature. And I knew nothing about nothing. I hadn't taken any classes. I didn't know the difference between a commercial and theatrical agent. I knew nothing. If I would have walked in that room for that network TV show and they would have saw the work that or lack thereof work that I put into the script that they gave me, they would never call me in again. So I think it's really important to study and research what it is that you want to do, and the importance of classes and workshops, because first impression in this industry is absolutely everything, and you want to have a strong one. So yeah.
how would you, when you got to LA, right? What are like some programs or classes or resources that you're doing or that you did when you first moved that like other people can take away and use?
So as far as just in LA in general, there's so many different studios here that you can do audits. You really just can Google search acting studios, not just in LA, in Atlanta, in Chicago, in New York. You can search acting studios, and I know here in LA they allow us to do audits. I'm not sure when I took classes in Chicago, I don't think they offered that, but you can audit different classes to find out which studio works best for you and just see what's going to be a good fit for you. And that's what I would recommend doing. Um, I would also recommend doing like micro mini workshops. Right now, if you look on Eventbrite, you can find a lot of different workshops. And I think it's a great time too for anybody who isn't necessarily in Los Angeles to take advantage of that because this is an opportunity that you can get teachings from the best of the best and you don't necessarily have to be here because normally you wouldn't get those classes because you don't live in LA. So I think taking micro
Mm-hmm.
classes are really important too right now. But definitely just educating yourself on what it is that you're trying to do. It's so important.
And what are you doing during quarantine now that like, all sets, we had Caitlin Simone come on here a week ago and she was saying how, all the sets, everything's shut down, right? So everybody's at home. So what are you doing now during quarantine besides, like looking at those workshops online to like keep yourself busy?
I'm in class every day. Yeah, micro workshops are a thing too, but I'm still in like my scene study classes. I still have one-on-ones with my coach. So we have personal one-on-ones. So I'm literally in class every single day. And that's what I'm doing. I'm doing self-tapes. I'm doing TikToks, as you know. I'm working out. I have developed a schedule and a schedule for myself. So I have like I wake up on a Sunday and I'll write down my plans for the week. So I'm really organizing myself and really trying to ground myself in a solid foundation so that when all this is over, I'm not really doing anything different. It's just going to be today and tomorrow quarantine's over and I'm just going to keep on moving. Like there's not going
Mm-hmm.
to be I wake up and I have to do something different with my entire life now. Um, it's safe to say I've added a lot of pressure on myself during this time, but I think it's important because everything attached to me and everything that I'm trying to do has to go to the next level after this. I'm determined
Right.
for that. Nothing can stay the same after this for me. Everything has to progress for me after this. And so because of that, I have to do a lot of work right now. And that's what I'm doing.
Manifest, Bria. Manifest.
Yes.
And I know, oh, Crystal said Sundance has free classes right now. Oh, thanks for that. I will write
There you
that
go.
down. So Kamaya asked earlier on, right? So you have this thing on TikTok that you do, and I know you talked to me earlier, right? You were saying that like TikTok is more so like your outlet, right? It's just something fun that you do. So I'm gonna ask, can you
What are
do
you
a
gonna ask?
TikTok for us? Because so what Bria does is she, I don't know if it's like a cover or like it's like a you reincarnate the Kardashian scenes and you do them oh so perfectly. And I know we don't have
Oh,
like a voiceover thing right now, so that's kind of like different. But what's the most favorite one that you've done?
I think that the one that I enjoyed doing the most was probably one of the first ones I did when I was talking to Scott, and she was like, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, I have to go.
Hmm.
That was probably one of my most favorite. The other one was the fighting scene because I really just had fun with that. I really just created my own scene. You guys should have seen me. I have my ring light that sits here. So as you guys know, I'm talking to air when I'm doing these every single time. And so I have my ring light here. I have my pillows on the ground. I'm teaching you guys how to set the scenes for those of you doing TikToks. My shoes on the ground. So I do my fighting scene. I get up and I literally jump behind my ring light and I'm grabbing pillows and I'm throwing them. And I'm like timing when I'm throwing the pillow. It's like 1, 2, 3, throw, 2, 3, throw, throw. So it's like I had the most fun, I think, doing that because I got to get a little creative and set up a scene.
Uh-huh.
Um, but yeah, I just love Courtney Bible. Me and her are like twins Bible. I don't think I'd ever want to be any other Kardashian besides her because I just think we get each other.
Danny said the dedication.
I am dedicated to it. They are fun though. TikToks for me, like they're just like free time. Some people will go, I don't know, watch a TV show or do whatever, go eat ice cream or something. Like TikTok for me is like my 30-minute break where I get to just have fun and do something that is fun for me for 30 minutes. And that's what I do. I create a TikTok I remember, and it helps me with my memorization of lines. It really has. So I can now read a script, and this is also because of the repetitions of class. I can now read a 2-page script I read yesterday. I looked over it 3 times and memorized it. Like it's just a great tool for memorizing lines too if you just want to do it for fun.
Dang, it's like fun and productivity all in one.
Yes, girl.
You said yes. I know this. I know this. All right. So we got a question. Kamaya asked, I struggle with just wanting to sleep in my bed all day. How do you make yourself stay productive?
Creating a schedule. So for me, my schedule is I wake up and I've given myself a little more leeway. I wake up between 7:30 and 8:30 in the morning. And I listen to either, right now, my favorites are Michael Todd and Sarah Jakes Roberts, or any type of motivational speech with Tony Robbins. I love. But that is set on my calendar every single day. I listen to an hour of that in the morning. So whether that is on my run, whether that's while I'm making breakfast, whether that's while I'm doing my workout, that is on from 8:30 to 9:30 every single day in the morning. And that's what gets me started in my day. So I think making a schedule and having something planned that you're going to do every single morning and that you dedicate and stick with is very helpful.
And then she also said, what does Tyler say when he sees you doing TikToks?
He's just like, babe, you should really stop watching the Kardashians. So that's what he says to me.
Is that how you find your videos too? You just watch it all the time, so you're just like, oh, okay, I get it. So now I know exactly which ones to like to do.
No, the fight, I didn't even see the fighting episode. Or no, I did see the fighting. There was one I didn't even see the episode yet. And I was like, oh, dang it. I'm like messing the episode up for myself. So some of them I don't see.
Oh, how can people follow you on TikTok and watch these awesome videos? I wish I could pull one up right now and people can like just see it.
Oh my gosh. So my TikTok is the same as my Instagram handle. It's at Bria Williams _. So you can just catch me on there if you have some free time.
Catch her inside. Did you get it? You caught it? No? Okay. Joy Joy said, are you doing any of the quarantine auditions via Zoom?
So we haven't had any actual, hey Joy, we haven't had any actual quarantine auditions via Zoom. We've had a lot of self-tapes right now. So what is also great, and I know everyone around the world has been taking advantage of this, is getting on Actors Access and casting networks. And as an actor, you should absolutely know what those websites are. And if you don't, write those down and research them. But getting on those websites and submitting casting or self-tapes, something that I'm so excited about, and how quarantine had me kind of in my feelings at the beginning, but it didn't, is I have really big dreams, really, really big dreams. Some people would laugh at them. Some people would call them crazy. And there's a lot of things that I had projected for myself for this year that honestly wouldn't be possible if we didn't have this stay-at-home order. There's so many directors that I've met face-to-face that I would not have met face-to-face if it weren't for us being quarantined at home, because they're now just opening up the doors to meet actors and actresses because they have nothing else to do. And I wouldn't be able to see them if they were still in the studio seeing people live one-on-one, because I'm a new fresh face out here and they don't know who I am. And so I'm really making a name for myself now, because come whenever we're out of this, I expect to be in a room with some of these people and being able to be face to face with them now. And I've projected myself that much quicker to doing it because I've taken opportunities like this now. So take advantage of getting face to face with casting directors and doing self tapes, because it's huge right now.
And I think one of the things you're talking about that I think a lot of people sometimes want to breeze over, right, is the preparation and the consistency. You know, like I think you've been consistent for a while now. And I think how you were showing in Just My Opinion, I think what I'm trying to do too with Be Great is like you want to show the journey, right? Because it doesn't really matter about the destination. But once people hit that destination, people think like, oh, they're privileged. Oh, they did this overnight. Oh, they've already had this innate quality to be the best person, right? And it's like, no, 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 no. It took me steps to get there. And it took me some consistency, some preparation, people calling me crazy and me being okay with that, right? And surrounding myself with people who are who know I'm gonna win and who keep pushing me. And I think that's something that I don't want to overlook, that you are literally doing. It seems day in, day out, right? You're like, this, I know my purpose. I know where I want to go. Now I just got to put in the steps every day to get there, because I know I'm going to get there.
Yep.
Which you already are there, but whatever. That's
Yep.
neither here nor there either.
It's knowing that. Exactly.
And, oh, Perry put on here, why are you so raw? I think the saw is raw, but.
I'm so raw because Perry's so raw. Like, let's just be real. Join
Perry
Perry
is awesome
on Saturdays. Right. Just join him on Saturdays. Go see how raw he is.
Check out those Facebook Lives, for real, for real.
Yes.
Moko said, what are you most proud of in regards to the progress that you've made along the journey to achieving your goals?
I'm most proud of myself for not giving up. There was something else Michael Todd said today that so you guys would think I'm a crazy person, because something I do is I take notes during my morning sessions. Something he said today is, anytime there is an upgrade, there is an upgrade in their responsibility too. And although that is scary, I am very proud of myself for taking the responsibility of moving up with the upgrade that I'm receiving. I didn't come to LA with the same energy I had when I was in Chicago. I completely upgraded my life. I completely upgraded my work ethic, because you can't come with the same energy and expect to get something different. You have to move with it. And something that I pride myself in is continuing to upgrade myself. You know, you can't battle with me on who I am, because I'm not competing against you. I literally compete against myself every single day. There's no one else I'm competing against. So therefore, you'll never catch me, because I'm not even worried about what you're doing. I'm worried about what I did yesterday morning, and I'm trying to better myself today. And because of that, you just won't catch me. And it's okay, because your goal shouldn't be to catch me. It should just be to catch wherever you were yesterday and be better than you were today. So I pride myself on upgrading my life every single day, because it's hard. Really? It's so hard. It's not easy. And so I think it's important to know that, like, I struggle daily. Like, I'm gonna let y'all see this. What time is it? So you guys know, whoever does know, I'm doing this 30-day water challenge. It's 1 gallon a day for 30 days. And if you know me too, once I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. And it's hard. Like, it's past 11 o'clock here. It's almost 3, and I'm only at the 11 o'clock mark. So I somehow still have to get all this water down in one day. And it's so small, but like, this stuff isn't easy, you guys. You just have to be determined enough and self-disciplined enough to do it, and to want to do it for yourself and for nobody else. I'm not competing against anybody to get this water down. I'm doing it for myself, because I said I was going to do it. And yesterday I did it. And the last 14 days I've done it. So I have to do it today. Right. So just work at it every single day, and just try to hold yourself accountable. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, and have people that you can talk to about it. Surround yourself with people who understand that, it's not a competition. It's really just about being the best you can possibly be. That's all it's about.
That's why I love that we have that girl gang, right? Because, like, we're all individually pursuing our own goals and our passions, and we're all pushing each other, right? We have our group chat, and we're like, I did this today, and everybody's like, oh my God, that's so amazing. No matter how small or how big, right? It's like, girl, it took me a while to take this walk outside, but I took this walk today. And everybody's like, I'm so glad, like, or we can talk about Danny and Deanna, how now they got a Forbes article, right? Like, wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And if one of us were trying to compete against that, first of all, it's not your lane to compete in. They're doing something different than what you're doing. So you shouldn't be competing to be in Forbes, to have an exhibit in Chicago on one of the biggest. You shouldn't be competing against that, because that's not what you're trying to do. Like, they're excelling in their lane. As you're excelling in your lane, Brittany. Like, you're killing it in your lane, as you should be. Like, find your lane and be the best you can be in your lane, and you'll move mountains. Trust me.
I'm writing down all these quotes, girl. They're gonna be coming out with your name on it, so just know. And so Danny said, what are your favorite affirmations?
Ooh, so some of my favorite affirmations I say every morning is I am worthy. I'm good enough. Um, Through you, I exude strength and blessings through God. Um, that I will continue to be surrounded by those who will help make my vision become my reality. Um, and that I'm wealthy. Ooh, got this money,
Yes.
honey. And also that I'm grounded and my love with my fiance, and that we'll continue to have an abundance of blessings and memories and opportunities for ourselves. So, yes, those are
Man,
some of my favorites.
what I've been seeing too, right, with like with your relationship with Perry, with Brooklyn and Jamila were on here the other day too. Like it's very apparent when you can see very loving and supportive relationships, right? Like I think it's just
Mhm.
something where it's like it's not even it's unspoken, but like you guys always compliment one another and talk about one another and be like, I love this person. This person's my rock. And it seems like it just comes out effortlessly. It's not even something you think about. You're like, oh, I have to say this, so this person's gonna listen to it, right? It's like you
Mhm.
can see a positive relationship, and that gives hope to singles like myself, um, to see these positive relationships that are here. And in our 20s, right? Like early on, because people always think, oh, people in our 20s are not, really on anything. They're not really supportive,
Mhm.
blah, blah, blah. You need to focus on your money and your career. But like, it's good to see that you can thrive in relationships. And sometimes it even helps make it easier because you have a constant companion and support system and rock. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
absolutely. I think everyone deserves love, and it is beautiful to see amongst our friends the true love that's out there, even at such a young age, and the true commitment that people have to one another. You don't have to be in your 40s to wait to be committed and show that love. Like, there's genuine, and I am encouraged too by the Ambers and the Perrys and the Dre's and the Arianas and the Callies and the Harrys. I'm so
Hmm.
inspired by them, and it's so nice to have that as an example in the now for people who are our age right now. It feels so good to see. So, yeah, I appreciate them too.
Amber said, I love watching your journey and your growth.
Oh, thanks,
Beautiful.
Amber.
All these fire signs. Yes, yes, yes. I'll make sure I don't miss any questions as I'm going down here. So what advice would you give to people who want to be an actress or a TV host or anything in like the entertainment industry? What advice would you give them? Would you say they need to move to LA?
Mm. Um, LA is where a lot of things happen, but Atlanta's really popping off right now too. So I don't want to say LA is the place you have to be. Chicago is pretty popular too. New York is popular. I would say start your own something, whatever that is. Like, how you're doing this. Be creative in what it is that you want and know the destination as to where you're going with it. It is about what you're doing right now. So if you say you want to be an actress right now and you're not actively looking for classes, or you're not actively taking workshops, or you're not actively reading articles, or you're not doing the now work, then this is the time to be doing it. So I would say putting in the work now to create where it is that you're trying to go post quarantine future. So taking classes, taking workshops, getting, like I said, creative and making your own things, and just being scared to do something like get in front of the camera and talk about, I don't know, something you like, fashion or books or pillows. I don't know. Talk about something that you like, whatever it is that you're afraid to do, do it now. Do it now and get the jitters out, and then sit down, look at it, review it, and then make a plan for it and continue to do it more and more. Get uncomfortable being uncomfortable. That's what I'm saying.
Mm. Say it loud.
Get uncomfortable being uncomfortable.
And what drives you, Bria, right? Like you're so passionate, you're so hungry. What keeps you like just going toward that passion and being like, just like relentless?
As I kind of mentioned earlier, I have to be better than I was yesterday. Everything connected to me has to go to the next level. I
Hmm.
always refuse to be stagnant, um, because that's just who I am. So I do things to prepare myself, because I could get into lazy habits too. I could want to sleep until 12, 11 o'clock every single day, but what keeps me going is the preparation I put into things. So like I said, again, making a plan and sticking with it, being self-determined, and being committed to myself
Hmm.
and my goals and my vision is really what keeps me hungry. And honestly and truly knowing that it's all mine already. I've seen so many things in my life already that, again, if I told you guys, you'd be like, can I just come with you now? So it's like I've already seen so many things. Like I've seen it. There's so many places I'm about to be that I wake up every morning and I just can't sleep in. I just can't because
You're
for
so
where I'm going to
excited.
be, yeah, for where I'm going to be going, it just doesn't call for me to sleep in. I just don't have the time. It doesn't call for me to not be able to get up and do whatever I do every morning, whether that's doing my makeup or my hair or just being lazy for the day, but still being productive. My life just calls for a me that's on top of time.
Your
That's just me.
reality is better than your dreams, pretty much.
Yeah,
I love that.
absolutely.
I love that. And I want to touch really quickly about like money, right? When it comes to the entertainment industry, and just acting in general, right? I know finances aren't like the biggest reason, right, why people get into it. How do you think that one should approach money with your business background when coming into entertainment?
As an actress,
Yes, as an actress.
um, I would say investing in yourself is important, um, but making sure that you invest in yourself in the right areas. So when I first started doing this, I was taking a lot of pictures, and some would call it Instagram modeling. That really wasn't what I was trying to do. And I didn't understand that's what I wasn't trying to do until I did it so long that I was like, that's not what I was trying to do. What I was trying to do was to build my portfolio as an actress. That being said, I wasn't looking to do Instagram model. I was looking to get headshots. Two totally different things. You need to understand what it is that you're investing your money into so you don't invest it into the wrong thing. Don't get me wrong, my pictures are bomb, but that's not what I was looking to do. So knowing exactly what it is that you want to invest in, and feel free to ask me. Like you can ask me, I can send you to the proper resources if I have them, or just doing your own search, you'll understand what it is that you're looking for. So again, getting, if you're an actress or an actor, you want to get headshots. You want to look in to be able to create a demo reel. That means you need to get on these Actors Access and casting network sites. You need to be in student films. Creating a resume. You want to take classes. What kind of classes do you need? Do you want to get into more commercials? You need to take commercial classes. Put your money in that bucket. Do you want to be on TV? Let me be clear. If you have a theatrical agent, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be doing Broadway. It means that you're going to be, it's TV and film. That's your network TV shows. That's your This Is Us.
Hmm.
That's your movies. That's what theatrical is. You need to start doing those type of classes. So understand exactly what it is that you want to do, and then figure out what the package is that you need to start that career and put your money into there. Don't just go out here just doing stuff, and don't just pay
Hmm.
people anything, because this is an easy industry for people to scam you too. They'll do it.
And how can people get connected with you? Dropping so many gems, right? After this, how can people get connected with you if they want to follow your journey or if they just want to DM and reach out because maybe they see a part of themselves in you?
Yeah. So if you want to reach out to me on Instagram, you can do that at Bria Williams _. And then you can also check out my website, briawilliams.com. You can check that out. You can send me a message, whatever you want to do there. And then you can also check me out on Facebook at the Bria Williams. I'm not really big on Twitter. I get on there occasionally, so you
Mhm.
might miss me if you hit me up on there, but the other three for sure.
Okay. And I like to round out these lives with having you shout out people who are being great in your life, who's influencing you, motivating you, pushing you in your inner circle. So this is not limited to one person, but I just want you to kind of shout people out. It doesn't, and it, I always tell people too, I know you can't say everybody. There's like probably a million people and we only got like 5 minutes, but like just a couple people that come to the top of your mind or maybe people that you've seen today that are influencing you.
Okay, well, besides Brittany, of course, I have to shout out my best friend and her sister, Deanna and Danny. They have Womanish, that is an amazing exhibit that is going to be open soon. So definitely making sure to check them out. And they are, so it's at We Are Womanish _ and then at Danielle.Gray, Danielle with a Y, and at Deanna Lashall. Dre, who I mentioned a lot throughout this, who is my Chicago ride or die. He's coming everywhere with me once we get to the Oscars, and he's going to be right there filming. So Dre Moore, check him out at Dre Moore on the shot, of course. And then I just want to shout out my coaches, really. So my coach, so I'm at a studio. I'm at two studios here in LA. One of the studios I'm at is Joshua Labar's studio. My coach is Amy. Amy is my ride or die. And then my other coach, thanks to Tyler, I'm not sure if she's on here, Tyler Clark, not my Tyler. She linked me with a new studio I'm out here with. And so Richard Lawson, I'm sure you guys know him as Miss Tina Lawson, who is Beyonce's mother's, her husband.
Yes.
That is one of my personal coaches as well. So I have to shout him out. Check out his studio at RLS Studios. If you guys want to take some of those micro classes, you can come hang out with me. So yeah, those are definitely, and then of course my Girl Do Better squad. I'm on a podcast. And so check us out there too. So those are definitely some of the people I wanted to shout out and just thank.
I love it. And thank you so much, Bria, for coming, being transparent, sharing your journey, also being willing, right? If people want to reach out to you, to be able to be like, yeah, you know, hit me up on here and I'll just connect with you, right? I think us in our community, as being millennials, right, we want to give back, but we also want to excel. So we know that we can do both, right? So, and I appreciate you being in my life too, being a support system. Also me seeing you, and I'm inspired by your journey and seeing all that you're doing. So like, you're motivating me. And I love that you brought up that like sometimes your dreams seem impossible, but when you talk to people who understand the impossible and they know that that is possible, then like it just gives you even more motivation, right? So I want to thank you too for just being you.
Oh, thanks, Britt. Appreciate
You got it. You got it. So everybody says, oh yeah, another dope interview. Yes, Bria from the Better Squad. Love this. Love that. You
Oh,
getting all
thank
this
you
love,
guys.
girl.
Thank you guys.
But I will save this. I'm gonna add it to YouTube. So if people want to reference it after, because I know you dropped some gems and some resources, and you can just like share it to people. But besides that, have a great rest of your day in LA. And if you ever want to share those affirmations, devotions, or inspirational videos, please text them to me. I would love to watch them.
Absolutely. I will.
All right. See you.
Bye.